Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Robert Perea, filling in for the vacationing Sam Shad. On the program today, I have Churchill County Manager Jim Barbee on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years.
Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Serving Our Kids Foundation's mission is to serve homeless, at-risk, and food insecure children in grades K through 8 throughout Southern Nevada. During the pandemic, Serving Our Kids has seen a 42% increase in the number of children served, providing more than 4,500 meals to kids in over 100 schools weekly. Serving Our Kids is powered by community support and volunteers. To learn how you can help, visit servingourkids.org.
I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. You have a great hotel here. Mike Pegerman's invested a ton of money into this place to make it just gorgeous. Tell people what they can expect when they come down and stay.
A real quality experience, Sam, and the rooms, you've stayed in them, they're good size, very well appointed, clean, and for about $65 Sunday through Thursday right now through the winter. After you're done with your meetings, you take a nice, beautiful scenic drive and come stay in a very nice, beautiful room. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Robert Perea, filling in for Sam Shad, who's on vacation. And today on the show, we have Churchill County Manager Jim Barbee. So appreciate you coming in and joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
So one of the things we wanted to talk to you about is the new arena that the county's building, and tell us a little bit about that and how it's come about.
Absolutely, would love to. It's the Rafter 3C Arena, which the 3 C's stand for Churchill County Civic Arena, and we're really marketing it largely first and foremost to large ag events. So that could be rodeos, ropings, any number of kind of agriculture-driven events. But it's 75,000 square feet under one roof, with about 25,000 square feet of that being a concourse area. It has a arena floor that's 4 foot lowered down, and that represents about 250 by 150 feet size arena. So really big enough that we can hold some significant events there. We figure if we have a concert in there with floor seating, we can get somewhere upwards of 8,000 folks in the building. If it's a large rodeo event, we can get about 2,000 folks in the grandstands to watch that. So we're very excited about it. It really fits the theme with Churchill County, and a county that's still very heavily agriculture based in our community. We see it as an economic development opportunity. We're really focused on bringing events from outside the community in. We're looking at hopefully in June, that's our first month we're going to open. We have our commemoration for it on June 1st. We're looking to have about 10,000 folks from outside the community come through the doors of that facility. That's our goal just in the first month. So significant change for us that should have a cascading effect on our economic development opportunities.
So you'll have seating that can be reconfigured for whatever different type of events that you have?
Yeah, we really looked at other facilities in our region. We looked at the Reno Livestock Event Center, the Winnemucca Livestock Event Center. It was actually based on one in Klamath Falls, and tried to take all of what we thought were the best parts and tried to put that in. So we have bleachers that actually come together in where they only take up like 6 foot of space, or then they expand out and you can have full seating. But that reduction in the bleacher size opens up a whole nother area above on our concourse area that you can do more activities with. So being able to have, for example, a bull sell and show, or a gelding sell and show, and then be able to have an upper deck where you can have lots of vendors and concessions and those kind of things, those kind of activities going on. And really anything that's kind of a convention conference driven would have the ability to do it there, because our arena floor is going to be concrete with dirt put over that for ag events, but ultimately that can be cleaned out a lot like South Point in Las Vegas, and then you've just got a carpeted floor that you can put down underneath.
So what's the impetus for driving behind the idea of building something like that? Do you have a facility that you've been using that's just not adequate, or? So
we have the fairgrounds that were created in the early 70s, brought over from where their previous location was in the valley, and not a lot of support or effort had been put in supporting those once those got up and built a little bit here and there. We recognize there's a lot of regional ag events that are looking for a place to go. We've seen with the mass mandates and shutdowns in California, a lot of livestock shows that came into the Reno area. We feel like we can really compete for some of those kind of events and activities. And with that is going to drive hotel rooms. So we see that as economic development to bring people into the community to spend their money in our community, and then also help us get expansion of hotels, which looks like we've got one coming here in the next few months here in the city of Fallon. And so it seems like it's starting to work. And as soon as we broke ground, and we didn't do a lot of marketing, we wanted to get it right, and so we were pretty focused on that part. Word of mouth has gotten out, and we've already gotten other hotels that have come and spoke to us that are interested in getting things rolling. We're seeing economic development push from the Trick area through Fernley towards Churchill County, so we know some of those things are coming. So this gives us the opportunity to have amenities that really benefit our community as well. So it's really a win-win. Ultimately, it also gives us some emergency shelter capacity, and with the pandemic that we've been in, we'll be able to do drive-through testing and some of those things as well. Although it was not funded by any of those kind of funds, it gives us that opportunity. It's a benefit to the community.
How was it funded?
We took out a bond on it, and then we also had cash on hand in our building reserve. So between those two funds, we're at about $13 million on the investment.
Has this been a long time coming? When did the project start?
Well, we realized we had a real issue for the testing capacity and things that we could do when the pandemic broke out, and recognizing some of these other things. We'd been talking about it for several years. They had old plans that were 15, 20 years old. It just, the time was right. It made sense then, because we were going to be able to get multiple benefit out of it. And so in that time, we took about 6 months to look at what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it, brought it to the Board of County Commissioners, and they approved it in roughly June of 20, right in there. And so then we broke ground at the end of the year, about December of 20, and we should be completely done June 1st. We're 99% done. We just have to wait for the temperatures to get a little better for the paving out front.
Do you have your first event booked yet, or?
We do. We have multiple events booked prior to the actual June 1 event. We have a large powwow that's coming in. We have the Churchill County Junior Livestock Show that's going to be doing there. We have an antique show that's going to go in there, and I believe a tattoo convention tied to hot rod cars And so we've got quite a bit of that going. And then about middle of June, it looks like we're going to have a PRCA sanctioned bronc event where we're going to have bronc riders, leading bronc riders from all over the United States coming into that event around the time of Reno Rodeo. And we'll also have breakaway roping and bulldogging is what that looks like. And that's fresh off the press. We're just getting that confirmed the last few days. So very exciting stuff. Like I say, 10,000 folks going through the doors of the event center.
Do you have hopes that there's been mention maybe that you could host the state fair sometime? I know that's kind of bounced around lately since.
So we have, and I think you're going to have a fellow that can talk to you more about it, but we have the Cantaloupe Festival, which has been a long time event held in Churchill County. And with the loss of the state fair in 2011, I believe it was, there's been kind of a void there. And so that is something that falls under the authority of the Department of Agriculture, and the committee would have to put together a request and go to them to get that approval. But I think that's something that's very viable and makes a lot of sense. I think a comparable on that would be the Clark County Fair and the volume of folks that come from Las Vegas to Logandale, hundreds of thousands every day. Come make that hour's drive out there, and I think it makes a lot of sense that that's something that we could definitely host in Churchill County.
And for people who might have driven through Fallon or around it, where is it located?
So we're just a little bit to the east of Reno, about 45 minutes, and to the south of Fernley. It's a nice, quick drive. Matter of fact, we have a lot of folks that commute from our community and work in Reno. So we're close enough that it's not a big issue to come out that way.
All right, we'll take a short break and be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
Calamity. It lurks around every corner. Or not. That's why UMC Quick Care is around every corner, with locations around the valley. UMC Quick Care, for all your small calamities.
Can't do it. Stupid, like my mom.
We can't do anything at Mommy's because you won't pay child support.
Dad said you cheated, and he's not even sure he's my dad.
Mommy said you left both of us, so she isn't gonna let me see you.
I look just like my father.
I'm divorce attorney Marilyn York, and I may represent men, but hate has no gender, only casualties. Please, stop sacrificing your children in your war against your ex.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
Calamity. It lurks around every corner. Or not. That's why UMC Quick Care is around every corner, with locations around the valley. UMC Quick Care, for all your small calamities.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Robert Perea, filling in for the vacationing Sam Shad, and I'm visiting with Churchill County Manager Jim Barbee. So we've been talking about the Rafters C3 arena that almost completed and ready to use now. And you've talked about some of the things that you can bring in events and its economic benefit to the city. What other kind of economic development projects do you have going on right now?
We have a lot of focus on economic development right now. We recognize that the properties available in Trick have been purchased, and that companies are looking for new areas and places to expand, and that clearly is moved through and into Fernley currently, and we see the benefit of that tipping over the county line there at Fernley and moving into some of our areas. We have the Churchill Hazen Industrial Park that has been working on getting established the last couple of years out there in the Hazen area. And then closer in, we've had businesses that are currently pursuing putting things together directly closer into Fallon. And so we've been working hard through Churchill Fallon Economic Development Authority, which is managed by Bruce Breslow, in trying to entice those companies and really get them on the ground in Churchill and Fallon and see some of the many benefits our community has, especially with the traditions and the small town feel that our community has. I grew up in Minden, Gardnerville, and we moved there in the 80s, and Fallon very much has that feel that it had in the mid-80s. And of course you can see the growth and the changes that have happened there. So really trying to prepare for that. Additionally, really trying to support the Naval Air Station. They have a tremendous amount of workforce that has been established there for years, but beyond that, with some of the programs that they're expanding, their workforce is increasing to expand. And to be frank, as a community, we've not done them justice in being able to provide the housing necessary and keep up with their needs. So a lot of their folks are commuting to Fernley and to Reno, and we would definitely want to keep those folks in our community as a part of our community because we are all very closely connected in that way. So with that in mind, we've worked on several housing projects that we're trying to get underway. We have one that's actually on county-owned property that we're working on getting a final agreement on as we speak that would bring roughly about 420 apartment units to play, which would make a significant impact. We've not had a modern apartment complex built, high-end apartment complex built in over 40 years in Fallon, Churchill area. We also have some planned unit development plans that have been presented within the last couple of weeks to the county that we're working on negotiations there that would represent another 750 in housing units. And then over the last 3 years, starting in 2018, 2019, we saw a significant increase in our single family building permits. But what we've seen is that a lot of the build-ready plots that we had in the county have been built out. And now a lot of that construction has actually moved into Fallon, and you're seeing a lot of construction in Fallon where they still have, but are getting very few and far between buildable lots there. So that's taken the big chunk probably in the last year. Our limiting factor in the county is infrastructure, and that's where we're really focused on expanding our water, ability to provide water, and then our sewer capacity. Sewer capacity, we're in pretty good shape. It's a matter of running the pipes and doing lift stations. Water, we're going to be utilizing hopefully some federal funds and granting programs to try to get our second water treatment plant online. So that's a large focus that we are working on currently.
So is it the capacity of your treatment plant that's limiting right now, or?
There's a combination of, we had commitments in our EDUs on that water plant, and some of those are PUDs that have set out, planned unit developments that set out there for years that have some of those water rights tied up. So it's a little bit of both, but we know that they're going to build at some point, and then we're going to need that second one way or another. So we're trying to get on that now.
All right, we'll take a break and be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
7 at 7 is available anytime, anywhere.
I'm Riley Smith with your Vegas Golden Knights. Watch 7 minutes of nonstop news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Streaming on LVRJ.com and Twitter. Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Before the masks, before the distancing, before the world changed, UMC was ready. Our response to COVID-19 began before the crisis did, with our own team of infectious disease experts who've spent their careers planning for this moment. With a pandemic response plan, we'd practiced again and again, and by blazing new trails in large-scale testing, including every patient we admit. Always ready. UMC.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
I'm Jeff Gehrman, an investigative reporter with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm your guide for Season 2 of Mobbed Up, The Fight for Las Vegas.
You're in with every gangster and hoodlum in the United States. I don't go for that, Mr. Kennedy. I don't go for that kind of action.
I was on television accused of fronting for the mob.
Subscribe to Mobbed Up, The Fight for Las Vegas, Season 2, today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
7 at 7 is available anytime, anywhere.
I'm Riley Smith with your Vegas Golden Knights. Watch 7 minutes of nonstop news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Streaming on LVRJ.com and YouTube. Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Robert Perea, filling in for vacationing Sam Shad, and I'm visiting with Jim Barbee, the county manager from Churchill County, talking right now about housing and development. One thing I'm kind of curious about, I see a lot of companies looking in northern Nevada right now. There's a lot going on with the EDON and other agencies that are helping bring in groups. And some of the people that I've talked to from the companies that have looked around, they look at Douglas County, they look at Fernley, they look at the North Valleys area, Reno, they look at all these places. I'm wondering, is it competitive between the different counties and the cities to try to attract those businesses?
It's always competitive. Like anything in business, it's competitive. But I will say, and that's been a little bit of a learning curve for me since I've been in this position the last 3 years, I thought it would be even more competitive than it is. There really is a good working relationship between the regional development authorities. So we are CFED is our program in Churchill County and Fallon, which is a combination of our two entities. But then we have the Northern Nevada Development Authority, and then we have EDON. And with Bruce Breslow representing us, he has a really good working relationship with all those other groups, and they share leads that make more sense in those specific areas. Specifically for us, we're hoping that we can get some economic development opportunities for companies that are in food production, food processing, food safety kind of driven realm. And we've seen a couple of those that are national and international companies that are looking at our area because it's a good fit. Rail continues to be an important part of that story, and being able to have access through rail, and we've seen expansion in the rail yard that crosses over from the city limits in Fernley into Churchill County, and that's been a fantastic boom for us because that makes that story just that much easier to tell. And so, like I say, we have a food processor, one specifically that is looking at doing something significant over the next couple of years in the hundreds of millions of dollars kind of level. So, it goes back to what I was saying before. The thing that we're lacking right now is infrastructure. And that's why that's such a specific focus for us, whether it's on the industrial side or on the housing side. That's something that we have to get figured out because that really is the key for the growth that we know is coming. And so we're really trying to work hard to position ourselves for that.
Is that something, though, that you have to do before development can come, or is that something that development can help bring?
It'll be in conjunction with, especially on the business side, it'll be in conjunction with that business development because, they've got to identify logistically where the best locations within the county, in association with rail, highway, whatever those requirements may be. On the housing side of things, that's something that because we are so upside down in supply demand on housing in our community that we have to make happen now. Again, I go back to, and there's so many more. I'm just so focused on the Navy because I feel like we do the Navy a disservice by not being able to have housing there for their folks. We're very pro-military, very proud of the folks, and we have a lot of folks that retire from the Naval Air Station and stay in our community and participate as our veterans, who are fantastic. And so we want to be able to facilitate a great living community for them. And so that side of it is definitely focused on us getting it done.
Is it important to balance that, to have the housing and the industrial development, or you know, because like Trick, a lot of that overflow is coming out to Fernley, Fallon, and the need for housing for people that are working outside of the area, but to have industry, business, retail, whatever, rather than just housing?
Absolutely, there is a vital balance there. But what we've seen is we're so short on the housing right now that it's going to drive those other parts and pieces and capacity. We're just simply, housing is needed today. Housing on the markets is very a short amount of time that they are even there. Within the week they're sold. We've got to get it done for our community.
All right, well, we're right out of town, but I appreciate you coming in, and thank you for the visit.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
I'm Robert Perea. Been in for the vacationing Sam Shad on Nevada Newsmakers. Thank you for watching.
Brianculpa Photography was born in the rolling hills of Massachusetts, and now he can help you experience the stunning beauty of Nevada in a whole new way through the power of flight. Flying has always been a passion for Brian, and at Brianculpa Photography, he can make your imagination soar. Brian has the creative mind and tools to tell your unique story. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Robert Perea in for Sam Shad. You can check out Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. We'll see you on the next show.